Welcome to the Recruiting Scoop on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook. That's Justin Wells. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to Inside Texas. Use that first link in our description. Use that QR code at the top left of the screen. Join for just $1. Then you get 50% off your first year. Justin, we're coming today after we saw Brock Williams commit on the Pat McAfee show. We got a few different things to talk about, but just any thoughts on Texas landing Williams, finally, that recruitment getting across the finish line, not so much because of what Texas did, but, well, yes, because of what Texas did, but also because Brock finally did decide, all right, it's time.
Honestly, my hottest take from it is Texas is batting, I think, 1,000 whenever recruits on the Pat McAfee show are announcing. I can't remember a recruit they didn't get. There may have been one that they were in the top 3 of a while back, but
it may have been Jake Krell. But I remember that little intro video that they had. It's like I saw a handful of burnt orange hats get thrown on.
Yeah,
I think there was a basketball commit in there somewhere. It may have been Trey Johnson. It was either Trey Johnson or Ron Holland. One of those worked out better than the other.
Absolutely,
but
we got a trend. We see a trend. You know, McAfee's he's hosting these things, and no, honestly, this is we've said it till we're red in the face, but Jeff Banks needed to go get a big one. He really did. He's done a good job with developing the guys that they brought in. Now he wants to get his own guys. There's just something about it with coaching, getting your guys that you emotionally invest in and develop. And you got to tip your cap to Jeff Banks on this one. I know Sark's offense is sexy. I know NIL in Texas is damn good. But Jeff Banks went the distance on this, guys. And not to mention bringing in his twin brother, Reed Williams, on a PWO, who holds an SEC offer and actually has some pretty good tape. I think this is a win-win-win, to quote Michael Scott, Office style. I think everyone wins in this situation. Just credit to Texas. They had to knock off Georgia and Ohio State to get this kid. They played the long game, and they played it well.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about some guys who some committed to Texas, some not committed to Texas yet. Not committed to Texas yet. Sorry, I'm running on a handful of hours of sleep here. And I would bring up the huddles, but it's been real choppy today. But we got to talk about Ismail Kamara. Texas is all over the Gilmer standout, future 5-star, should be a 5-star. Oregon is a big threat, but the Longhorns are – how do I say it? I'm going to let you say it. The Longhorns are putting in a lot of extra effort on this one.
The Longhorns fully understand the magnitude of this decision. This is not your normal 4-year commitment or even 40-year commitment. We're talking about a recruit that has global attraction, and that is just part of this whole thing. It's so important that Kamara's people were in Austin yesterday, hanging out with Brandon Harris and the Texas staff, just getting some negotiating done, getting some things taken care of. That's how this recruitment's going to go. Kamara's at home in Gilmer. He's doing state testing right now. This kid is trying to cram 4 years of high school into 2.5-year window. And this is tough. He has a lot of stuff he's got to do on the back end just to be able to potentially graduate early in December and to be able to enroll early. There is so many moving parts. Sometimes it can make your head spin. I was talking to an Oregon source about it earlier today. I'm like, guys, this thing is bigger than all of us. And so Texas is in the best position they could put themselves in right now. Like, there's no rushing this with Kamara. He really does enjoy the process, and he is genuinely grateful for every offer, every phone call, every interview. Like, he's a bowl full of wonderful. He just really is. And so I think people need to understand this is a Texas-Oregon battle. He loves Texas A&M. I just don't think it's going to be A&M. I think the fact that Mark Matthews is trending there is a pretty good little time, pretty good indicator. Not to mention, I think this is going to be a Nike kid, and A&M is attached to Adidas. This is going to be Texas and Oregon. Now, LSU is going to throw a big bag. Tennessee is going to try a shot. SMU tried to get him in on an early OV. That didn't work. This is going to be a Texas-Oregon battle. And I don't know when we're going to get a decision. He had talked about potentially doing it before the beginning of his senior year, the end of the summer, like a lot of guys, just to find their spot. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing drags out to October, November. There are a lot of things behind the scenes that have to be checked off. When you're talking about a foreign exchange student, when you're talking about a kid that's being adopted, when you're talking about a kid that's trying to get naturalization, it just turned 18 a couple months ago. There's so much going on here that people don't realize. Just understand, Texas understands this recruitment as well as anybody. They understand there's a lot of stuff here, but it's so worth it if you can get this kid on campus.
Yeah, there's got to be good coaching. Oregon and Texas both have
relationships.
Got to be good relationships. Got to be good NIL. Got to be good everything. This is truly a program recruitment where everybody is putting in full effort. You detailed some of that effort over on Inside Texas earlier today. Before we keep going, got to show some love to our sponsor. That is Andre the Lawyer.
Texans know when you're injured, there's one name that gets results. Andre the Lawyer. Trust the team that has secured millions for their clients and helped thousands of Texans win their injury cases. Car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, wrongful deaths. Don't let the insurance companies tell you what your claim is worth. Andre the Lawyer will fight for you. His principal office is in Dallas, but they serve Texans throughout the state. So don't wait. Call 214-444-8808. That's 214-444-8808. Contact info is in the description.
We flip to the defensive side of the ball, and we got to go over to the state of Alabama. That's where Lyle Clark was a couple of days ago. He went over to Mobile to see Jabarius Garor from Mobile Vigor High School, I believe. And we're still trying to figure out some of what that edge board looks like. We know they've got Cam Hall committed. We know that they've got a pipeline kind of waiting to fill in after Colin Simmons heads to the NFL after this year. And they have a lot of different out-of-state options they're looking at. Garor is one of them, former Alabama pledge. Lyle Clark made his way over to Mobile. What's going on with Texas, not only just with edge recruiting, but with Garor as well?
So Lyle Clark, like he's cast a wide net. So there are two different edge types in this class. Going to be in this class. You're going to have the DN type, which is the Marcus Fakatau. That's the type that's it can be a little bit of both. And then you're going to have the guard type, which is mostly outside linebacker because he's maybe 210 pounds on a good day. This is a former Alabama commit. Florida's coming at him pretty hard. He's got a Georgia OV this weekend. Georgia has kind of up the ante with him as well, and they're pushing as well. Don't forget Derwin Fields is committed already in this class as well. And so Texas can be a little picky now when it comes to the edge department. They feel really good with Fakatau, but again, that's gonna go the distance at the least. And so with Gar, Texas is in a great spot. He was on campus back in April. He's got a really cool personality. He enjoys the process. He doesn't take things too serious. 5, 6, 7 years ago, he probably stays in state, probably stays at Alabama or Auburn. Now he's probably gonna go elsewhere. And so I think Texas is in a great spot. They don't have to push too hard because, like you said, they've got two guys in this class already. They got their hand on a couple others that could potentially be in this class. Gar, it's getting to the point where spots are filling up, Joe, and some guys are starting to make decisions a little bit earlier. We even saw a kid that we reported this week have a commitment date, and he ramped that thing up 6 weeks early today just because spots are filling up. And I think with Jabarius Garor, that's kind of where he's at. He's wondering, do I need to jump in after this OV? Do I need to make a decision in May before I take my OVs? He's in that spot. And Lyle Clark's in the best spot because he's got two in the hand, he's got two more in the bush, and he's still digging and snipe hunting.
When it comes to edge, KJ Green is somebody else who they're after from somewhere, I think in Georgia.
SEC region.
Right. We're still – I think you can find with Fields and Hall that, obviously they are going to fit that weak side spot, the Colin Simmons spot. Fakatau kind of seems like he'll fit in the Lance Jackson role.
Correct.
They're just trying to replenish this room. Who knows what happens with other guys who could leave maybe early this year, the transfer portal, stuff like that. Got to make sure it is stocked. One last thing, got to talk about wide receiver. We had Eric Naline put in an RPM earlier today for that recruit who moved up his date. That is Bryson Thrower. Kind of a little bit of, like you said, trying to find a spot, trying to make sure he has his spot. Easton Royal going to be very important in this class. A little bit of news on Monson Sales with Indiana. Lots of moving parts with wide receiver recruiting.
First off, Easton Royal hosted the Horns last night. A bunch of the offensive staff went down to New Orleans. I'm told it was a really good time. They really enjoyed it. Sark was the only one that wasn't there, but I don't think he technically can be yet, or it's either that or he's still saving his in-home for November, December. I'm not real sure, but Sark wasn't able to do it. Everybody else was there. Milwee, Flood, Jackson, a bunch of guys on the offensive side. They love Royal, and they feel really good about Royal. They know LSU's coming hot and heavy. They know that. But, man, they are confident when it comes to keeping five-star commits in the fold. Monson Sales was always destined to Hoosierville. Like, it's one of those things, the timing for Curt Cignetti could not have been any better. You win a national title, and you got top 2 wide receiver in your state, in your backyard, that you've been building a relationship with 2 years, and you've got a nice NIL budget to make sure he's happy. And our Charlie Williams has done a lot of good work behind the scenes on this. This family is pro-Indiana. This is a family decision. This wasn't just Sales. And so I still think he may OV to Texas. I still think Texas is going to take shots. They actually went by the school on Wednesday to take one more swing. You never know what happens to Royal, and they want to keep that connection with when it comes to Monson Sales. The guy you really need to pay attention to is Bryson Thrower, because there's been a little bit of misinformation that's been going around for the last few days in regarding Thrower. And so let me kind of clear the air so everyone knows what the hell's going on. Bryson Thrower is looking, he told me this morning, he's looking at a June 6th commitment date. My gut tells me he's going to do it before then. Texas A&M gets an official visit. Ohio State gets an official visit. Texas Tech gets an official visit. And, of course, Texas gets one on June 12th. I think he makes that decision, and I think he still takes his Texas official visit. That tells me everything I need to know about where this kid is going. Texas A&M is not really in this recruitment, no matter what you hear or read or what's been reported. That's highly inaccurate. Texas A&M is actually stockpiling a pretty good wide receiver haul. I believe Jaden Upshaw's in the group. They're looking at getting Eric McFarland. He is not going to be cheap. He is expensive, and he is dynamic. And so, and if you talk to people close to Thrower, A&M doesn't really even get mentioned. So it's kind of weird that we've seen that come out. At the end of the day, though, I think this is Texas to lose. I think we have reported for probably 3 or 4 months now that Chris Jackson's prioritized this kid. We got coaches all over the state telling us that's the hardest guy in the state to cover. And then we've seen the shift with Trey Moore, looking more out of state. We saw the shift with Julian Caldwell, taking that bigger bag in Lubbock. It all makes sense. A Thrower in Texas makes way too much sense. Honestly, I think this is where this kid has wanted to go the entire time. He just wanted to feel like a priority. Jackson has done that. Steve Sarkisian's done that. Jeff Banks has done that. And they have done a really good job at North Forney. And give North Forney coaches credit. They do an amazing job over there, man. There's a lot of guys there that have a lot of experience in the recruiting world and how to handle coaches and how to handle players and parents. And they do an unbelievable job. Give Marcus Shavers credit. Give Corey McDonald credit. Give A.J. Jordan credit. There's other guys over there at North Forney doing a great job. And they got Bryson Thrower ready. And I'm going to tell you what, he might be – it's criminal that he's in the 40s and 50s ranked as a wide receiver at 6'3", 190 pounds, running a 4.4. It is – and that's verified. It's criminal. And after this senior season, I think you're going to see him boost up into the top 15, top 20.
Make sure you come track everything over at Inside Texas. Join for just $1, then get 50% off your first year. Justin, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. See you next time on Recruiting Scoop on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com.